Are you a baseball fan? Are you a baseball fan and have an Xbox with no MLB game to play? Or are you a baseball fan with a Nintendo Switch but only want to play quick games? RBI Baseball 19 was released on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and the Nintendo Switch on March 5th of this year. Now, just a little bit of backstory of myself and RBI Baseball. I've gotten each iteration of the game since its relaunch back in 2014, and each one was disappointing. Player models weren't accurate. It was hard to bat properly, hard to field properly. And at the end of it, I just gave up and played the show because it was a much better game. I have to say I've been more than impressed with 19 so far than I've been in previous years. Player models are updated so that the players look more like their real-life counterparts. Subtle things like free agency and player trades have been added to keep the game current. Or if you want to make your own fantasy team, you can do that too. Like all of my reviews, we're going to do this in 4 categories: gameplay, presentation, graphics, and most important on the list, accessibility and fun factor. So without further ado, play ball. Graphics. We're just going to get the mediocre stuff out of the way now. I have the same problem with this game as I do with most sports games that don't have the licenses or the time to do proper head scans. Big name players like Aaron Judge, Mookie Betts, and the $330 million man, Bryce Harper, look more like their counterparts than in previous years. But sadly, players like Mets second baseman Jeff McNeil just look like a generic ball player. My hope is that they will take the time and scan more players into next season. During the game is where some of the graphic work is sort of okay. Players dive for ground balls, do the toe drags when throwing from first to third, all with relative ease, with a few missing animation cuts here and there, but I'm not going to get very picky. During home run animations, the frame rate drops significantly, and it makes the home run scene unwatchable. Hopefully they fix this in patches going forward. I give the graphics 3 out of 5. Gameplay. It's real hit or miss. Baseball pun. So you want to play a quick game of baseball, but you don't have time to sit down and play a sim like the show. You want to play baseball on the go? No problem. RBI excels when it comes to the pacing of the game. The Nintendo Switch version just might be my favorite because you can literally play baseball anywhere. Gameplay is fun and fast. And here I come with a quick rundown of the controls. If you're a pitcher and you want to throw a slow breaking ball, you hold up on the analog stick and B on the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. I'm going to make an assumption that it's the X on the PlayStation and A on the Xbox, respectively. You'll throw a ball in the dirt and often make the player look kind of silly. And if you hold down the analog stick while throwing, you'll throw a fastball. Just be aware that these balls have more of a possibility to be hit because they're going straight. to throw curveballs, all you need to do is simply tap the pitch button, and then as the pitch is traveling towards the batter, hold the stick in one direction or the other to get the proper degree of curve. If you're familiar with RBI from the regular NES days, you can simply move your pitcher back and forth. There are no different pitches. Just press the button and do any of those variations. I like the simplicity, but I would also like some complexity if I want it. Gameplay gets a 4 out of 5. Presentation is very bare bones. Although you don't have the annoying commentary of a sim baseball game, I would almost welcome it because literally all that RBI has is the voice of the umpire, the sound of the crowd, which looks much better, admittedly, and the sound of the ball coming up or down when you pop it up or hit a home run. That's about it. Presentation, 2 out of 5. Shoulda did more. Lastly, but most important, is the game accessible? A resounding yes, with just one caveat. Depending on your motor skills, you might want to turn fielding on to the assisted setting. It's not as simple as the auto setting that you can implement in the show or, say, Super Mega Baseball 2, but if you're able to push the buttons to throw to the proper bases, the game pretty much guides you to the ball, and it does take a little bit of coaxing on the stick. And honestly, it takes some getting used to. My final impressions are as follows. As I said in the beginning, no matter what kind of baseball gamer you are, if you don't have a PlayStation but have an Xbox or a Switch and you want a baseball game with MLB licenses, then this is the game for you. I'm the latter. I own a PlayStation, but the show doesn't drop for 2 more weeks. I needed my fix. And lastly, this is the thing that gets on my nerves the most. Do not compare RBI Baseball, which is meant to be an arcadey, fun baseball experience, to a sim like the show. Back when RBI first relaunched, I sat in on one of the live streams that showed off some of the initial gameplay, and one of the developers said to me directly that they were not trying to make a game that directly competes with the show. On the contrary, these guys wanted to make a video game strictly for those that were nostalgic for the retro style, and to be and honest to God, I think they succeeded. Took a few tries, but Rome wasn't built in a day, and Susan Lucci eventually won her Emmy. RBI Baseball 19 retails for $29.99 at GameStop, and you can visit their website at www.rbigame.com for other methods of purchase. I will see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you think of our RBI Baseball if you got it, and also remember, I'll be giving away a free code for RBI Baseball. I'll see you guys later.